Here's a great tip that has saved our marriage just unimaginable amounts of grief. When we first got married, we came up with sort of different rules that we'd live by in our marriage, and this one came from Claudia, and it didn't occur to me, but I'm really glad she brought it up. The tip is do not say anything bad about your spouse to anybody, ever. And originally I agreed to that, but I didn't fully appreciate how good that would be. But I've come to appreciate that it gives a real sense of peace, right? I don't have to worry that my weaknesses and my failings are getting spread around, and what people are going to think about me. And I feel that Claudia's got my back, and it's not like painting a target on my back. It's boy, it's really been nice, especially as I find out what other people have gone through who don't practice this. So it's a real winner.
It seems almost like it's a game people play where at work or on the phone or whatever, people will bring up their spouse and problems that they're having, or this horrible thing that my husband's doing or whatever, and it's almost like an invitation to, okay, give me your problems now, let's
right, take turn comparing, how bad, like around the water cooler,
right,
at whatever,
share our miseries about our spouses.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that it's really healthy to vent, like it's kind of getting something off their chest or allowing them to breathe or something. But why is it not good to vent about one's spouse?
Well, so consider an example, right? Say you and I got into a really heated fight, and then I go off and still in a huff, I go off and tell my friend all about it, right? My buddy. So for starters, I'm angry, so I'm probably not thinking straight. I'm only telling my side of the story the way I want it told. Might not even be exactly true. Your side of the story isn't there at all, right? And then this is my buddy, right? He's more inclined to agree with me, and if I'm upset, he's going to get upset. Like it rubs off, right? And so sooner or later, you and I are going to get this straightened out. We'll be fine. Life will be great. But he doesn't know that, right? So he's going to continue to have bad feelings towards you, even though we have it all resolved, right? So there's that lingering sort of negativity, and then you wondering what he's thinking and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Isn't this essentially gossip?
I think that's exactly what that is. So if we look at church teaching, there's two things. There's calumny and detraction. And calumny is, get them backwards,
calumny is when you tell lies about someone,
right?
Or
okay, yeah,
something that's such an exaggeration that it may as well.
Yeah, you kind of like slander somebody, right? You leave out an important fact, or you add something or embellish something that's not really true, or just an outright lie, right? So that's one way you can get into trouble. But the other one is by telling something that's true, right? Like revealing, damaging someone's reputation by saying something that's true, right? And the church teaches, you can look in the catechism, it says that everybody has a right to a good reputation, even if they don't deserve it. Right.
Right. So it's kind of like thinking of it's true, but it's not something that you have a right to know.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Their business,
right.
not yours.
None of your business, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's detraction.
Yeah.
Okay. So what can you do then? I've heard couples ask me, well, then who do I vent to?
Right. Well, so ideally to your spouse, and ideally it's not actually a vent, right? Like, because a vent, feels good. You're just dumping and whatever, but really that's feeling good through something that's sinful. That's not a good way to do it, right? So talk to your spouse, work through it, get it ironed out, and you'll feel a lot better in the long run than getting a brief shot of pleasure from something that's actually sinful. Now, there can be more extreme situations, like stuff that's really messed up, and so in that kind of case, you might want to consider going and talking to a good Catholic priest. Or if a good practicing Catholic therapist, not someone who's going to advise you against church teaching or something like that, but someone who's solidly Catholic, you might need to talk to them. And, ideally, if possible, do it as a couple. I know really extreme circumstances, maybe you have to do it individually, but those should kind of be the only exceptions, right? Really, really just, work it out amongst yourselves if you can. Okay. So we very strongly and warmly recommend that you go ahead and try this out. Make the agreement that you're not going to say anything bad about each other to anybody ever, and
even make it a point to say something good about your spouse.
Yeah, say something good, or regularly. Yeah, or at least don't say anything at all if you if you can't manage that, right? And then let's say that you've been married for a while and this hasn't really been your practice, right? So make this agreement and then try to think back of like, okay, who have I said what to, and clean up the mess that was made, right? Let them know, hey, we resolved this. I wasn't really looking at it quite the right way, or she actually meant this, but I didn't realize it, and that makes sense, and we're good now, and just clean up the mess. So, and I think that moving forward, you'll see good results in your marriage.
Sounds good.
All right, that's that. So we'll see
See
you
you
next
next
time.
time.